Good evening, students. This is motivation class. So, what is motivation? I told you that we need some kind of motivation in our life. Like while we are doing something, we need some motivation. Other than the motivation, we cannot do anything. So we need motivation in school life. We need motivation in college life. In student life, we need most the motivation at most because uh, student life is the life when you are doing something, like when you are making the progress in your life, when you are deciding something. So if like teachers, your family members do not motivate you, you cannot be a better person, you cannot achieve your goals. So for these things you need motivation in your life. So today we are going to discuss some theories of motivation. So for increasing motivation, there are so many speeches in YouTube. You can always listen to that. So you will be motivated. And like while you are going to the corporate world, if you do not like, if you do not motivate yourself, like you are not getting any motivation from your company, from your employer, you will not work better. So motivation can be described as the internal force that impacts the direction, intensity, and endurance of a person's voluntary choice of behavior. So it consists of direction focused by goals, intensity, bulk of effort allocated, persistence, amount of time taken for the effort to be exerted. So motivation is described as an internal force. It's not like it's coming from externally, but it is actually internal force. Suppose I am telling you that you are doing great in the class or you have done a great result. So you have you received one kind of motivation, and next time you will do much better than that because you have received some appreciation which you received in externally, and it has affected you internally, which gives you some inspiration to do something, to do some better work, and you will also feel satisfied if you get some motivation. So direction, it consists of direction focused by goals. So if you have some goals and you are motivated to do that, you will go to the right direction. Intensity, bulk of effort allocated, how much effort you are giving. Persistence, how much time you are giving to that project, to the work, what you are doing. So everything comes from the motivation. If you are rightly motivated, you will have good outcome of your work. You will do the work with more attention. So features of motivation. Motivation is an internal feeling. That is, it defines the psychological state of a person. It is a continuous process and we should make sure that it is not disturbed. A person should be encouraged completely. Motivation consists of three interacting and dependent elements. Needs, the requirements or deficiency which is created whenever there is psychological imbalance. Drives, the various camps or events organized to motivate the employees and give them new opportunities. Incentives, employees need to be rewarded for their nice work in order to keep them encouraged. So feature of motivation is it is an internal feeling that is defines the psychological state of a person. It is a continuous process, and we should make sure that it is not disturbed. So it should be like continuous process. Otherwise, like the outcome will be stopped from the employees. The requirements or deficiency, which is created whenever there is psychological imbalance, drives the various camps or events organized to motivate the employees. So there should be some kind of workshop, some kind of camps should be organized by the employer to motivate the people. And the employer should also give some incentives to the employees for their nice work in order to keep them encouraged. So, in what is the importance of motivation? We need to motivate employees because of the following reasons. Like motivated employees are more quality oriented, highly motivated employees are more productive as compared to other employees. So, motivated employees, like people who are motivated, they will give you better result. So, their quality is like automatically good. So, who are highly motivated employees, they're more productive compared to the other employees. So, it helps in achieving three behavior dimension of human resource, namely, candidates must be attracted not only to join but also to remain in the firm. Sometimes, like some companies hire people, but as they cannot motivate them, people leave the company for bad work environment. So you have to do something so that your employees will stay in your company. They will not leave. Employees must perform tasks in a dependable manner. So employees should be creative, spontaneous, and innovative at work. So they should first perform tasks in a dependable manner, that they are dependable upon the like employer, and they should be also creative, spontaneous, and innovative at work. So what we discussed, why motivation is important, because motivation gives us some kind of urge to do some like do better productive work, to like do good quality work. So what is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory? There is a theory of Maslow that is called hierarchy of needs. So what is that? This theory was produced in order to answer the question, what motivates an individual? Every second need comes to first when the first need is satisfied completely. So Maslow explained the hierarchy of needs by grouping them into two, deficiency needs and growth needs. So there is a theory called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now it answers the question, what motivates an individual? So every second need comes to force when the first need is satisfied completely. When the first need is satisfied, when the second need comes. Maslow explained the hierarchy of needs by grouping them into two, deficiency needs and growth needs. So this is the hierarchy picture. This is the structure. So in the ground level, there is psychological need. Then there is safety need. Then there is social need. Then esteem. Then self-fulfillment. So when your psychological needs are completed, you feel safety. Then you feel socially acceptable. Then you feel that so esteem you have. Then you feel self-fulfillment. So what is that? Suppose you have joined one company and you like quality of work is not going good, so your employer will scold you. So at that time you will not feel very safety about your job, like it will remain or not. You will think that. That time you will also feel socially distant or socially unacceptable. Then you will have lack of self-esteem. Then you will not have like social self-fulfillment. That means you will not be satisfied. Now, what is psychological need? Every individual needs to take care of basic requirements required to sustain. These requirements include food to eat, clothing to wear, and shelter to live in. These necessities are relatively independent of each other but are finite. So every individual needs to take care of the basic requirements required to sustain. So every human being needs needs something uh, to live, to sustain themselves. Now these requirements include food, clothing, shelter, and these necessities are relatively independent of each other but finite. So everything depends upon one another, but these are like finite. Safety needs. So everyone wants to stay in protected environment with minimal danger so that they can have peaceful life. The safety needs basically includes protection from psychological, physiological danger like accident, having economic security like bank accounts and health insurance. So in an enterprise, it includes job security, salary increment, etc. So managerial practice to satisfy this involves offering pension scheme, provident fund, gratuity, etc. So when a person is coming to a job, at that time he should have some financial protection, financial assurance. So he should be like economic. He should want economic security, like should have one bank account, health insurance, and in an enterprise, job security is also there. Like if you like always fear that this is not a permanent job, this may like you may be fired at any time. So this will not give you protection, and this will create fear in you so that you will not do so like better in your work. So it involves the pension scheme. Pension scheme, you know that people want pension scheme so that in after retirement they can have a peaceful life. They also want salary increment. They can also want that. Social needs we have all heard that man is a social animal. So we want to be there with those people who like who love us and we accepted as we are. So this theory helps managers to think about encouraging their employees by identifying employee needs. In short, it presents motivation as constantly changing force, expressing itself to the constant need for fulfillment of new and higher level of needs. So everybody wants to be safe and they want to have a peaceful life. That's why uh, and they need motivation like job security, salary increment, and all. And social need is something like we all social animal, we want to be there with people whom we feel comfortable with and who accept us. And we don't want to be judged. This is a common requirement for human. So this theory helps managers to think that how they will behave with employees and by identifying employee needs. So in short, it presents motivation as constantly changing force, expressing itself to the constant need for fulfillment of new and higher level of needs. Okay, esteem, what is esteem? So we discussed psychological and safety and social need. So when psychological need is fulfilled, safety needs come. Safety need is fulfilled and social needs come. After social needs, esteem comes. So what is esteem? Esteem is respect, self-esteem. So like we all have social self-esteem. You also have social self-esteem. Esteem means the typical human desire to be accepted and valued by others. People often involved in a profession or hobby to gain recognition, earn fame, and respect. According to Maslow, the needs of humans have strict guidelines. The hierarchies, rather than being sharply separated, are interrelated. This means that esteem and the consequent levels are not strictly separated, but are closely related. Self-actualization means realizing one's full potential. Maslow describes this as a desire to complete everything that one can, to become the most that one can be. Esteem means the typical human desire to be accepted and valued by others. So people often involved in profession or hobby to gain recognition, earn fame, and respect. So according to Maslow, the needs of human have strict guidelines, the hierarchies rather than being sharply separated and interrelated. This means that esteem and consequent levels are strictly separated and are closely related. Self-actualization means realizing one's full potential. Maslow describes this as a desire to complete everything that one can to become the most that can be. So you have to understand that how much pressure you can take, how much better you can do. So you have to act accordingly that. So if you cannot act like accept so much pressure, you cannot perform well. So you have to understand your potential and you have to go like that. There is also another theory, acquired needs theory. So among the need-based approaches to motivation, this man acquired needs theory is one that has received the greatest amount of support. According to this theory, individual acquires three types of needs as a result of their life experience. So these needs are the need of achievement, need for affiliation, and need for power. The need for achievement, affiliation, and power. So all individuals possesses a combination of these needs, and the dominant needs are the thought to drive employee behavior. Okay, so he used a unique method called the thematic appreciation test called TAG to assess the dominant need. What is a dominant need? This method entails presenting research subjects an ambiguous picture, asking them to write a story based on it. So take a look at the following picture. Who is the person? What is she doing? Why is she doing it? The story you tell about the woman in the picture would then be analyzed by trained experts. The idea is that the stories the photo evoked would reflect how the mind works and what motivates the person. So maybe I will show you one picture. Uh, Now, every individual will think different. You will not think the same. So this like means that every individual's needs are different and they also think differently. So this is the way motivation works. So did I made you understand? Okay, so if you don't have any query, we'll conclude the session here. Thank you for your attention.